Hi everyone, this is Save Warcraft, and this video will be a summary of balance suggestions from various players, not from me, around the world, very strong players from Europe, America and Asia. I had a chance to gather some of their feedback, and here is a short summary of what is proposed for the next patch. We start with human, and the most commonly suggested nerfs to human were reducing rifleman's power, reducing damage to the level 2 water elemental, reducing arcane tower's mana burn, and reducing militia's attack power. So these four Blizzard could consider for the next patch. I would not rush implementing them. There will be more nerfs to human suggested via neutral units. The changes we would suggest to consider is to changing the black gunpowder cost a little bit to increase its cost on level 1, changing the iron plating cost on level 1, decreasing it by 25 gold. This would promote melee units play, the one that was pushed in the last patch with the piercing damage nerf. So if players really want to use melee units, they can spend 100 gold and invest in the armor and get further upgrades. And the master training research time decrease for all the casters is the theme of the patch. I think many players like it. And it could be done to all the casters, including the priester, even though it's a little bit strong, but that would encourage humans to go for tier 3 more often, sometimes even playing one base. Most commonly suggested nerfs for orcs are introduce a cooldown for the critical strike, because it is very hard to react to the second critical strike when two of them are in a row. And also people complain about the durability of reinforced watchtowers, their cost, reinforced burrows. Sometimes some gameplays are not fun against orc with this upgrade. As for changes, there is a suggestion to improve orcs' healing, addressing healing selves. There are several ideas. One possible change is to decrease its duration from 45 to 40 seconds. So units will be healed a little bit faster, and this will help orcs early game, because they heal self, run, travel from a creep camp to other creep camp, or harass. So these 10% faster healing will be of good help in the early game, mid and late game. And many players suggest few nerfs and few buffs to orcs. The common sentiment is orc could stay more or less in place. It's well balanced, maybe could get a little bit of help. Night Elves. Night Elves is a sensitive topic, but the most commonly suggested nerf is to nerf Demon Hunter, and most of the pro players suggest to reduce immolation damage. So it could be reduced from 6, 11, 17 to, for example, 5, 10, 15, which is per half a second per tick, right? And mana cost then should be adjusted accordingly, roughly from 7 to 6 per second. Additionally, the Dryad Bear composition is prevalent in most of the Night Elf games, so there is a suggestion to slightly nerf it. Dryads do not get nerf from piercing damage nerf that much. Their main damage is poison. So the suggestion is to increase their cost a little bit by 5 gold, because they are very cost efficient in terms of gold. As for Keeper of the Grove, the common sentiment is that Keeper doesn't need direct buffs that much. He could be buffed indirectly very well by partially reverting Pandaren Brewmaster's Breath of Fire nerf, by reverting nerf to Huntresses, by nerfing Undead's Wand of Negation, that Undeads get very early on tier 2 and deny all Keeper's Grove advantage, and also reducing the cost of the Nature's Blessing. A gentle buff we could suggest for Keeper of the Groove is to buff Trian's move speed by 10, keeping it same after the upgrade, Nature's Blessing upgrade, and this will allow make it consistent, the movement bonus to Treants and the Ancients is going to be 40. More suggested changes to Night Elves: revert the nerf to the Huntresses, to the bouncing glaives, could be partially reverted, make it bounce from structures to structures, but not from structure to units. I think it's better simply to revert it. Move speed could be reverted. One another idea is to decouple the Moonglaive upgrade into two upgrades, to have one for armor, like Moon Shield, something like this, and one for additional bounce attack. And changing Huntress armor to medium instead of heavy would make them even more viable in the mid game, so this could be considered. We move on to Glaive Throwers. Their build time could be reduced. Nature's Blessing cost could be also reduced. Druids of the Tower Master Training could be shortened. Fairy Dragons could get some attention, and they could get some reduction in mana phase shift cost, and they can also get a new option to cancel mana flare, not the cooldown, but the cancel mana flare and fly away or start attacking like shown in this video. Undeads. Most commonly suggested nerf to undeads is the nerf to Wand of Negation. Commonly people say reduce the number of charges from 4 to 3, introduce a small cooldown and reduction of the cost. People suggest somehow to reduce the power or the cost efficiency of Road of Necromancy, so this could be also considered. One good suggestion I saw, it would be nice to match Ritual Dagger area of effect with its casting range. It's not a nerf, it's just quality of life change. And the most sensitive topic, Ghoul nerf, recent Ghoul nerf. Interestingly, many pro players consider, not undead pro players consider it was a little bit too much. So the suggestion is to revert it back. Ghouls need a little bit of attack. Possible way to address is to increase cooldown by 4%, and that will match Footman's attack cooldown, that would match Ghoul's Tree attacking cooldown, and you can see the proposed stats after 35% bonus from Ghoul Frenzy, the cooldown becomes exactly 1 hit per second. That would also help with Vampiric Aura, because that nerf hit hard Vampiric Aura. It was like 8% nerf to Vampiric Aura in the early game with Ghoul openings. And speaking of it, suggestion is to change it. It's quite a weak aura for the ghouls, to make it become 10-20% bonus damage for melee units, and the lifesteal becomes a flat 15% lifesteal on every level. Master Training for benches, we're happy to see Possession's visibility improvement. And one more suggestions that commonly seen in the notes, Frostworm build time reduced by 5 seconds. Finally, we get to neutral units and heroes, and Grubby initiated a talk on Forest Troll Shadow Priest. One suggestion is to reduce the dispel amount from 250 to 150. That's the one possible thing. Alternatively, it could be removed. It would be healthy for the game. It could be Troll Shadow Priest could be made like Ice Troll Priest and Dark Troll Shadow Priest. The cost should be reduced by 25 gold, and the hit points could be increased by 10 HP. This still would be a very valuable creep to have in the early game, and it would balance the game much better, because now map makers could place mercenary camps closer to the base, less protected by creeps. Shredder. Lumber capacity could be reduced from 200 to 100. This would force Shredder to move more often between the tree line and the base, it will slightly reduce the rate at which Shredder gathers lumber, and I believe it's a nice change, but it's a nerf to human and elves. And for the items, a suggestion is to reduce level 3 charged items from 400 to 350. They are very expensive comparative to level 2 and level 3 items, and they cost as level 4 permanent items. Finally, you can see some suggested changes to Pandarian Brewmaster. Very important change to make and to revert back. Dark Rancher, I think we're happy to see changes to its cast range and tether range. Goblin Tinker, 2 more changes to Pocket Factory, make the first goblin spawn faster, because usually players wait like 4 seconds to see it. And a little small buff to the rockets on level 1. Beastmaster could get some help from changing its stats, bonus stats per level. And Firelord, maybe the mana cost of lava spawn could be reduced, because piercing damage of the lava spawn was significantly impacted in the early game. So these could be the changes considered for the next patch. That's it. Thank you for your attention. Bye.